Hello everyone and welcome to Net Crypto, where you get important information and news about all coins and tokens of interest. And today we are doing an update on Slothana. This is a token that we've already labeled as a scam. So now the airdrops have started coming through to a lot of investors. So no doubt there are a bunch of questions, right? Like, what's the price point? Why don't we have a Telegram group where investors can ask pertinent questions and all that? So this video is going to be packed with tons of information. So this is a video you want to watch all the way to the end, right? Because the information in this video is really invaluable. So if you want to show your thanks, drop a super thanks, right, on the channel to support the channel. So let's jump straight into the content without wasting any more time, because we've got a lot of information to go through, right? So first thing first, the most important thing that you need to see, as you saw in the thumbnail, is the price, right? There's a lot of confusion around the price point, because what we did see during the pre-sale, if you go to jumping over to the whiteboard, is one Solana was worth 10,000 Slothana, right? So what does this really mean, right, in actual numbers? That's the first thing that we need to understand, so that we can understand the current price point of 0.011 that we currently see right now. We need to understand the current price that we are seeing right here, right? And the only way to do that is to go back to the pre-sale and check the price points, because one Solana was equal 10,000 Slothana. So it didn't matter at what point in time that you bought your sloth. What mattered was the price of Slothana. So we had to go to Sol, right, and check the price points of Sol. And the highest price points that we see was $189, right? And then the second price point of interest to us, for this exercise, right, was around the $160 mark. And the lowest price point that we see, which also we hit a couple of hours ago, right, like hours ago, was around $124. So we have 189, 160, 124, right? So obviously the price and the date that you actually bought your sloth, the price of Solana will actually determine exactly the amount of tokens that you would have actually gotten. So I just established these 3 price points, right, to help us to try and understand the current price point. So let's jump to the whiteboard. So the 189 that I spoke about, that was about a month ago, right? That would mean if you bought Slothana about a month ago at the price point where Solana was around $189 for each, so the price that you bought your sloth was actually this price point. Let's just change this color to something more visible, right? So if you bought a month ago and Solana, remember, the most important thing that you need to remember is what was the price of Solana when you bought your Slothana. That's the most important thing that you need to know. So if it was a month ago, you would have bought your sloth at 0.018, right? So if it was about 2 weeks ago, now we are talking about a price of Solana of $160, right? So if you bought about a month ago, right, that would mean that you bought at 0.016, right? If you bought, that is around 2 weeks ago, because if you go and check the price of Solana around 2 weeks ago, right, this is almost the middle point, like we reached like the 160 price point around there, right? We can even go 150, 160, but to just cover our basis, right, let's just say that around 2 weeks ago, the 160 price point of Solana, and you bought with one Solana, the price point that you'd have bought is around 0.016, right? And if you bought a couple of hours ago, right, or you bought at the lowest price of Sol, in this case, the lowest price that we've seen so far of Sol is around $124, right? That's the lowest price of Sol that we have actually seen. So that would actually mean that you bought your Slothana at 0.012, right? These are very important price points, so that you can understand the current price, because the current price is 0.011, right? But how does that relate to when you actually purchased your tokens? That's very important. So for you to get the actual price point, you need to go and check your transaction history, right? And check when you actually went and bought the token, right? The date, The date is sufficient. If you're able to get the date, then you just hop over to CoinMarketCap, check what was the price of Solana on that particular day, and then you can just divide that by 10,000, and then you get to the price point at which you bought your Slothana, which is absolutely crazy. This whole calculation that we are doing, they are supposed to just put this thing right there on the pre-sale. The fact that they're just saying one Solana is equal to 10,000 Slothana, that's it, right? But you have to go and do the calculation. At least now you know the method in the madness of calculating the price point of Slothana. So with that established, we know that we are at the lowest price point at the moment, right, of this video, because we are at 0.011. This is lower than the lowest price point of the pre-sale. So we can say the lowest price of the pre-sale is 0.012. That's the lowest, right? So here we are below the lowest, and we even went lower. We went all the way to 2082. That's the lowest price point that we went. And if we were to check the other scam that the same scammers behind Slothana are, which is Dogecoin 20, right? This thing actually went right all the way down. It went from 302 was the launch price, but it went all the way. It was the last price of the pre-sale, but it went all the way down to 403 and then recovered, right? So the same thing might happen with Slothana, but we just have to wait and see what is going to happen. But right now, from the start, airdrops are still taking place. And remember, guys, remember, this is very important, the 80-20 rule. 80% of all investors are going to get their tokens. But those 80% who are getting their tokens only contributed 20% of the liquidity, right? The investors who are dropping 100K, 200K in Slothana are only 20%, but they contributed 80% of the liquidity. So to see how that plays out, we also need to watch wallets right here on DexTools and see what's going on, right? So we need to remove the shrimp. Obviously, the shrimp are the ones who invested below 1,000. We remove the fish, we invested between 1,000 and 3,000. We remove the dolphins, who invested between 3 and 10,000 to see the biggest transactions in Slothana, right? So we know there are people who drop big amounts into some of these pre-sales. And I like the fact that this particular scam is on Solana, because Solana's price points in terms of buying and selling, the gas fees are minimal, as opposed to Ethereum. The scammers moved to Solana because they saw the vibe, they saw bonk, they saw multiple tokens doing well. So they said, okay, let's go and money grab on Solana as well, right? So we see here already we have a scammer bot, right? We don't know yet if it's a scammer bot. On Ethereum, we've already established a wallet that is a scammer bot. So let's just check this wallet, what it is. So this wallet is 2JCN, right? So one way that we identify a scammer bot is it always sells at a loss, right? In this case, the sale is minimal. You see, it's the same wallet, and it bought for 13,979 and sold for 14,000, right? It's minimal. It's not a lot, right? That one we can stomach it. But then let's check this other bot. So this bot is got the wallet 9LG9, right? So this one bought for 26,000, right? And then it sold for 28,000. So this is a genuine bot, right? The genuine bot, that's exactly how a front-running bot is supposed to act. It's supposed to actually make a profit. But on Ethereum, we've seen a lot of a notorious front-running bot that is actually manipulating the price. So this one is behaving properly. 26 sold for 28. So no doubt this one, it obviously doesn't belong to the scammers. So let's check other bots that are on here. So this one, A79N. So this one actually bought for 24, right? And also sold for 26, almost 27. Great. This is a great price point, right? And then we also do see some of the big wallets here. There's a wallet that did a transaction. This one, YRNF, right? It sold for 49, almost $50,000, right? So definitely these wallets are of interest. We need to keep watching these wallets. So far, the bots are behaving as they're supposed to. We don't see a scammer bot so far. So chances are their ability to manipulate the price on Sol is not as much as established as they have it on Ethereum, right? So it's going to be really interesting, right, to see how this thing is going to actually develop. I'm going to be following it through, right? The good, the bad, the ugly, right, in terms of Slothana. So the price watching really is entertaining. We're going to be checking what's going on, obviously, with the massive drop. It just dropped, right? And airdrops are still filtering through. And remember, there is the 20% who invested 80% of the liquidity. Those investors are at a risk of not getting their airdrop. But 80% of everyone who invested in Solana, but they only contributed 20%, right? All of those are going to be receiving their airdrop. So you have a bunch of huge investors, number of investors, 80%, who received their airdrop. I'm going to say, no, everything is working well, but then we have to also watch the price. We have to watch the wallets. We have to see what's going on, right? Because this is the first token that we're actually covering on Solana. So this is the price point that we're taking a look at the moment, which is 0.012. That's the lowest price of the pre-sale, right? Because we've already established that by just checking the pre-sale number. So if this video is valuable for you, right, drop a super thanks. All right, and of course, don't forget that you can grab yourself a copy of the Big Brain Crypto Ego Logbook. Right, it's on Amazon. Affiliate link in the description. Right, affiliate link is in the description, and you can just grab it on there. You can track up to 70 pre-sales. All right, and the 2 pages, it has 2 pages that you cover each token. This first page covers just pertinent information about the pre-sale. The second page covers ego notes. For example, these price points that we are calculating right now, the wallets that we are seeing right now on DexTools, we need to track these wallets and all that, right? So this is my update for this one, right? We're going to continue to watch what is going on, how this thing is developing, right? Whether is it going to go parabolic, right? Is it going to go lower? Obviously, the airdrop is still rolling out. So let me know, did you receive your airdrop? And if you didn't, just let us know how much did you invest, right? That's the only way that you are going to know exactly how the scammers are working. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.